Today I will take you in practical physics, how to report your practical physics. You know, I told you physics is always the best subject in science. Now, the practical physics is also the best practical in science and easy to pass. So you can do it. Now, you just need to follow this direction I'm going to give you now in this class. Then you find that you can perform any question in practical. Okay, perform any practical and report your practical properly. Now what we have today is how to report physics practical. Step involved in reporting physics practical. Now there are 5 steps involved in reporting physics practical. 6 steps involved in reporting physics practical. Number 1, date your work. Permit me to use here. Here is now my book, my graph notebook. Here, I'll be using it as my report notebook. Now, in any practical class, you always have a plain place and calibrated page. You have plain page and calibrated page. And this plain page, that is where you write all your report, your table of graph and procedure and all that. You write it here. Then the graph work will be done here. Okay? In your WAEC, you still have a plain this particular side, and to be in this form. So you use here to write all the calculation, and you do your graph work here. So now I want to date my work. And how do I date my work? Which is the step 1. Step 1 is date your work. What do I mean by that? Is here, if here is, this is my practical, I want to report practical using this. If I want to report my practical using this, I'll write my dates and write my experiments. I assume in WAEC question you always have 3 questions. In WAEC you always have 3 questions. One is mechanism, the other is general, maybe heat, maybe motion. Then the last one is always electricity. So if you are answering starting from question number 3, your experiment 3 or number 3, as the case may be, then your date. Then if it's classroom setting, is the experiment, maybe you have performed the first experiment, you want to, we have performed 3 and 3rd, you are reporting 3rd experiment, you write the date and write experiment 3. If it says like we are just starting the practical now, so it's our experiment 1. Okay, so that is dating your work. Now see how I'm going to do it. Like today is 26th of June 2020. Okay, so that is the date. Then experiment 1. So I'm done dating my work. Now step 2. Step involved in reporting your practical. Step 2, the purpose of the practical. Why do you want to what is the reason for the practical? Now that will take us to WAEC question 2006. WAEC practical question 2006. We'll go through it and I'll use it as an example to teach you how to write the purpose of your work. Now read. Listen. Okay.
You have been provided with a return stand, farm, and bus, a metal rod, a spiral spring, a set of slotted weights, and a pointer. Number 1. Set up the apparatus as shown in the diagram above. 2. Read and record the length L0 of the spiral spring. 3. Place a mass M equal to 50.0 grams on the hanger. 4. Read and record the new length L1 of the spring. 5. Determine the measurements. Determine the extension E is equal to L1 minus L0.
Okay, you see it, extension E equal to L1 minus L0. So read and record the new length and then determine the extension. In all the experiments, add the mass, read and record. So when you see this with all these apparatus that is given, the meter rule, the spiral spring, the mass, and the return stand, no, you now tell yourself what LT you apply in your theory. So what exactly the field of physics, the topic in physics that treated something related to this, and you find out that you can get exactly this in elasticity. You can get it in what? Elasticity. Then what did you do in elasticity? Who performed the theory we are proving in elasticity is Hooke's. What did he come with? He came up with Hooke's law. So the purpose of our practical, this particular question, is to prove what? Hooke's law of elasticity. So the purpose is what? To prove, that is number 2, to prove Hooke's law of elasticity. Okay, to prove the Hooke's law of elasticity. Okay, that is the purpose of the practical. We are done with step 2. Then we'll go to step 3. Remember, I'm reporting practical exam question, practical physics using 2015 6 exam question. Exam question.
Number 6. Set the system into small vertical oscillation.
Okay.
Measure and record the time T for 10 complete oscillation.
Okay. Before you continue, I want you to start from the beginning because we want to get step 3, and the step 3 is the materials used in performing the practical. So you start from the beginning, we get the materials.
You have been provided with a retort stand.
So listen, you have been provided. Those things you are provided with, they are your what? Materials. Oh yeah.
A clamp and boss.
Okay. Our step 4 now is the materials. Okay. What are the apparatus provided them within your school? You just need to list it. Within secondary school level, you just need to list it. As you go further, you will not list it only, you give brief explanation. But here, you just need to state those apparatus. Now, what are the apparatus we use there? 1, clamp. Meter rule. Or the apparatus, the materials or the apparatus that are given us from the question. Once you see you are provided, those things that you are provided, they are the materials you use to perform your practicals, and you write them down, and that is your step 3. Now step 4 is method. That is step 4. Step 4 is the method question paper or your exam question paper. Within your scope, you just need to draw it and give brief explanation on how you fix it and how you use it to arrive at your result. Okay, so you draw it to show the way you performed your practical, and there is no other way you show it other than the way you are asked to do. So you just have to draw it. Okay, you draw it and label it just the way we drew this one. This is, and you label it. This is our spiral spring, this is our pointer, the mass hanger, and the mass, the meter rule, the retor stand, and the clamp. Okay, so you label it. That is your step 4. Now you go to your step 5. Step 5 is your result. Your results. Now your results include your data, which is your table of value, and your graph analysis. Include your data and your graph analysis. Your data is your table of value and your analysis. Your graph include your data and your analysis. And that will take me to next class, table of value. Okay? Table of value.